activities.
Okay.
So if you are.
Yeah, I'll make how to make stuff. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do the salad and put on here. this piece of trim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, look at that.
Whoa, I want to see.
Careful with it. That's really cute wallpaper.
No.
Right away in a spell, smoking like a cigarette in a dream. Silver dollar sinking down, fantasy lights in between. I found you just like an open window inside a new shade of green. I could live under this open window. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Baby, your color burns through me. Wild roses, half lit in the field, speaking more than I could ever say. Cutouts in the darkness, I can see them still, climbing up the corners of your frame. Make me into a golden token. Give my stones on a creek. Every word we have quietly spoken, hanging in the air like strings. I found you just like an open window inside a new shade of green. I could live under this open window. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Baby, your color burns through me. Right away in a spell, a note left in